existing out of. Anyways, I am incognito. I don't want people to know me, who I am. As far as you know, I'm a homeless. I have had many Karen incidences, which I will leave anonymous. I don't want to call anyone out. You know who you are. It's always with the Karens, you know. It's always with women bitching, nagging, complaining. I mean, the whole 9 yards. Okay, I had people almost who are on their deathbeds and they need to make their last complaint about blah blah blah, about blah 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 who. And I've seen this in multiple different healthcare sectors, industries, hospitals, whatever you want to call it, nursing homes. With the last ounce of strength, anything resembling this will complain, nag, and bitch until she drops dead. Okay? That is a fact. Okay? If you're just a normal guy in the world, just trying to survive, that's something you need to know about. These Karens are very hostile. And they will complain, you know, and they will go the extra mile to complain about the dumbest of things. You know, their house could be flooded. They could be dying of cancer, okay? But they need to complain. They need to nag. They need to file a report. They need to report you to the manager. They need to talk to the manager because of you. Whatever it may be, the color of your skin, what you say, what you didn't say, you know, you didn't do things perfectly, something triggered them, you know, maybe you blew your nose or something stupid and it caused them to react because of their ADHD, because of their OCD, germophobia issues, insecurity issues, whatever it may be. You know, holy crap, this lens. Okay, so we're gonna take our little vacation here and forget about all the Karens in the world. So Saturday, July 19th. So today is supposed to be Hawaii's Hawaii Day in the main street. I don't know, we'll just call this the main street. We're walking to the Sheraton, visiting the beach, because that's all the bandwidth I have left. You know, the things I've seen and experienced, you know, it's just bizarre to me why someone would empower themselves to complain about everything, the dumbest of things. Now, I can understand some things, you know, but the level of Karening is just too much. The hypergamy of it, the standards, is becoming to the point of uncontrollable narcissism. Complaining about, I mean, any little thing, as I've mentioned. You know, and this translates to all facets of life, dating, you know, family, or, you know, just being a husband and your wife is going to point out all your inadequacies. Whatever it may be, I don't know. But what I do know is the guy in the relationship cares 1,000 times less. He cares 1,000 times less. He cares 1,000 times less. And you know what's up. Women don't. Women don't. Someone told me the degeneracy of a man may trigger her fox mother instinct. You know, she has to report you. She has to nag at you. She has to complain about you so that the standards can continue. You know, the rules and the regulations can be enforced. And with her dying last ounce of strength, she will do this. It's a part of her fox maternal, mother mode, tiger mom instinct. You know, she's programmed like that. It's in her blood to do so. And you know, could everyone else just get away with something incredibly stupid? Whatever that may be. Maybe you didn't wash your hands. Maybe you know, wore a pair of gloves and forgot to throw them away, or whatever. Something really fucking stupid. But she noticed it, and now she's got a 10,000 page report on it. And she wasted all her time. Instead of minding her own business and enjoying life, she engaged in the complaining, she engaged in the nagging, she engaged in the reporting. You know, she didn't spend her time enjoying herself. Like, this is Karen. She has money. She probably had a job. She probably worked her whole life, and she probably wants everyone else to feel the same degree of miserableness. And this is only because I came across, or still continue to come across, these kinds of characters in society. And it's just like, why? You know, why do men just care much less about all this shit, you know? I mean, you're gonna die. But with women, it's more rules, more regulations, more laundry lists of demands, meeting her standards, you know, the hypergamy of it, and the hierarchy, enforcing the hierarchy, anything that she could grab herself towards. And you know, that is something most men probably overlook. She's allowed to make mistakes. She's allowed to do this. She's allowed to do that. But when it comes to you, you have to be perfect. You have to be godlike. You know, you have to be Chad. You have to be Tyrone. You can get hit by a bus. You can collect, you know, workers' comp and pay for the family, and you know, pay child support, all the while taking care of everyone else because you're a man or some shit like that. Be a man, you know. I wouldn't put that shit on anyone. Okay, life is hard enough. You're allowed to go homeless, you know. You're allowed to, you know, have your wages garnished. And this kind of bullshit, you know, it's just gonna keep going on and on until, well, you're homeless, you know, and just don't care anymore. I mean, it's one end of the extreme. But whatever. I generally, I don't want to care. I don't want to care. Nothing's gonna change. You know, I'm on at the short end of the stick. Child support, alimony, spousal support, whatever it may be, you know. The guy's always responsible for everything. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're the girl and you're chasing the guy. There's been scientific studies performed on this. It just fizzes out, you know. Ultimately, it's the guy. Get some ice cream. Getting some free ice cream over here. So I got my little free ice cream. Continue to our journey to Victoria's Secret. The look, you know, men just want the look. Men are just after the look. You know, if you look under the hood of a woman, you probably don't want to get involved. There's a lot of nagging, a lot of complaining, a lot of indecisiveness. So with men, I mean, it's about leadership. You can be fat, you can be short, you can be bald, but one thing is you have to be super confident, or you'll have no value. You know, you'll be too indecisive in a world where there's super amounts of complacency and conveniences and instant gratification. I mean, you can get lost. And you need to know about discipline, about making decisive decisions, about leading, and or you'll just be a bum. You know, she's gonna pick that up. How do I know this? I've experienced this. I experience it all the time. And so will you. Blah, blah, blah. Woman wants a guy who's confident, who has money, 6 feet tall, chatter Tyrone. You know? This is one of the malls I stopped by at. The ones down there, they all look the same, very fancy, very nice. Got a Tesla store too. Yeah, it's supposed to be Hawaii Day, but like parades and stuff. I guess there weren't any. Or it comes out at like nighttime. Didn't DeLuca some kind of fancy ice cream place or cafe? Sausage egg McMuffin. They have different franchises of said stores. Just like McDonald's, but a lot more expensive. Alright, here we go to the Sheraton. By myself. I'm trying to cool down. I mean, again, I have the male perspective. I'd rather just be alone than to be hounded for money, things I didn't pay for, or being tallied by an XYZ Karen. Where have you been? What have you been doing? You know, you owe this, you owe that. You know, have you been cheating on me? Blah, 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 you broke this rule. Blah, 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 you broke that unspoken rule. Blah, 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 family. Blah, blah, blah. You're responsible for driving me here, and here, whatever. You're responsible for buying me this. Blah, 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 that. You're responsible for paying this. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 that. Then you add children into it, the equation, and it's just like, holy fuck. I can't afford this bitch, you know? I'd rather be by myself, you know. There's all the little knickknacks you can see. And yeah, you can be single. I mean, welcome to the single life. This is artwork and stuff. Everything you see, touristy stuff. Here they have got the chairs. So today is Saturday. A Saturday viewing. I don't know how Hopefully smaller shops survive, but whatever, good luck. Gotcha. A lot of Japanese influence in Hawaii. I believe 1/3 of the population is Japanese. This is the closest, next to Fort Lee in New Jersey. This is probably one of the closest Japanese shindigs around. This is every day. People enjoy. I would imagine that rich people enjoy life, but a lot of them don't. They just work all the time. They work all the time on top of working work all the time to the point where they turn into a Karen. That's what I've seen. So please make time for your family and to have fun. Some of you never will. And this video is for you. I don't blame you. I don't blame anyone. If that's how you were raised, how you're programmed, how you were manufactured, how you were trained, I don't know. Maybe you just suffer from the scarcity mindset. A lot of people fall into this category of never having built a life outside of work, which is probably becoming more and more common. People don't know what to do with themselves outside of work. That means that they don't have an identity outside of working. And that could be you. You know, you don't have a family of your own. That's on you. Yeah, it's pretty sad. Hopefully you find some balance in your life so that you don't chase someone like me around that really doesn't care. Someone who does care has to pay thousands of dollars and hundreds of thousands of dollars for everything. To make sure everything's by the book. But in reality, that's not gonna fly. I'm not gonna care. I'm gonna run. You ain't gonna find me for no DIFUS, for child support, for alimony, none of that shit. You know, that's every woman's dream, to catch the guy for child support notices and divorce lawyers and all this crazy shit, and you ain't gonna catch me. You ain't gonna catch me. I'm gonna ninja that shit, you know? I'm gonna ninja that shit, Karen. And, you know, if you're not even responsible, or there's no evidence on you, you know, she'll still try to scam you. People will still try to scam you in general. They'll still try to grift you and everything. So, as an adult who's earning money and whatnot, there are predators out there, financial predators. Yep, while you're busy being a Karen, people are having fun. Just a reminder, just a little reminder. People are allowed to have fun. You're allowed to have fun. It's your choice if you want to be a Karen. That's none of my business. You know, if you don't want to start or grow your own identity outside of work and just make money and be a one-dimensional Karen, that's up to you. But you have an option. option. You can enjoy the beach too. You don't have to sit in the office or the library or whatever you do all day and then start complaining about everyone else and writing them up and reporting everyone to the manager, which you'll probably do anyways just because you're a Karen. And then they're gonna fire you when you get old, and then you're gonna be bitter towards everyone, and you realize you don't have any children or family of your own because you spent all your time with the company and making money, which isn't bad, but you're not a dude. You're female. You wanted to have children. Children, motherhood, you know, that's a thing, you know. But no, you spent all your time being a Karen, and now you're fucked, and you're bitter, and you want everyone else to feel like shit. So, you know, you raise the prices of everything. You know, you have young people work more hours, pay them less, and you become a Scrooge. They learn how to be like you, more of a Scrooge. Depopulation occurs, less and less people are having children. So I usually walk up toward the boats and stuff, and that's a little detour. So this has been a Saturday in Hawaii, Saturday, July 19th. This is the first weekend after the storm, the superstorm, that flash flood of New Jersey and New York City subways and all that stuff. Life still goes on, you know. Two people died, you know. 2 people died previously from getting hit by owned by a tree. Life goes on. And everyone thinks that money is everything, and nature doesn't give a fuck. See, people still enjoy their lives. You being a Karen and just channeling all your hatred and your cruelty and your bitterness. I believe Buddha said it like hatred is the strongest poison within yourself. It doesn't affect anyone else. It's your own poison. But if you're gonna have to pick your poison in life, please don't be bitter towards everyone else because they're having fun and you chose to be a Karen. You can have fun. You can have fun. Is anyone gonna save you? No, because you're old. You're old. Maybe you're old and you can't save yourself and you're out of time. Maybe you're young and you're watching this. Whatever. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. I hope you have a good life. See you in the next one. Peace out. Don't be Karen. Don't be like Karen. See ya.